What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Happy Sunday to you. Break number 1086BD, 1086BD. This is a case of 2025 Select Baseball. Let's get into it. It's 12 boxes in the break. Alright, there's six. There's six more. 12 boxes. Box number one. What is up, bees? Yes, I'm having a fabulous day, my friend. How's your day now that you lost an hour of sleep? In Arizona, we don't lose time. We are exactly how we were. Good, nice, bro. Alright, we got box number one in the opening process. Tie-dye patch right out the gate. What's up, blah? I feel like I screwed up my counts. I also screwed that up. Alright. Making fun of our sleep deprivation. Alright, guys, here we go. It is Blah's fault. It's always Blah's fault. You know that. Alright, here we go. We got Starlin Cava for Miami on the tricolor. Our first auto of the break, that one is going to Detroit. That is Kevin McGonigal for Detroit. Miguel Tejada for Oakland. Our orange, Hyun-Suk Jang for the LA Dodgers. That's 26 out of 49. 26 out of 49. We got another auto. This one's going to the Yankees. That is Cecil Fielder. Cecil Fielder on the legendary signature. Not numbered. We have another orange of Blake Burke from Milwaukee, 24 out of 49. James Triantos. That is for Chicago Cubs, 12 out of 199. Roberto Clemente on the red. Roberto Clemente, 62 out of 149. That is Song Joon Kim for Texas on the white, 60 out of 99. second half, box 1. Tie-dye. Diamond level. That is Ethan Holiday going to the non-MLB spot. Ethan Holiday, 4 out of 25 on the tie-dye diamond level. Nice hit for the non-MLB. Starlin Caba for Miami on the silver prism. Bobby Witt Jr. on the silver prism. Tricolor, Jace Lavalette for the non-MLB spot. Our tie-dye patch. Woo, that is a nice one. That is Vance Honeycutt for Baltimore. On the 3-color Sparks patch, 14 out of 25. Brody Breck for Colorado, silver prism. Pretty sick patch. Box number 2. By every Vance Honeycutt. A buddy of mine told me that I should be buying every warming Barnabal for the Colorado Rockies. That he's going to be a beast. So, box number 2. We got Coaching Shane for the Dodgers. That is 17 out of 49. Roberto Clemente, silver prism. Tricolor, Tomoyuki Sugano for Baltimore. Our next auto, another legendary one. This is for the White Sox. That is Robin Ventura. Robin Ventura, legendary signature. Luis Angel Acuna, that is 93 out of 199. Kalen Culpepper on the red, 82 out of 149. Kevin McGonigal for Detroit, that is 191 or 161 out of 199. There is Braden Montgomery for the White Sox on the tricolor. Colt Keith for Detroit, silver prism. That is a blue phenomenon of Agustin Ramirez for Miami. That is numbered 5 out of 49. Paul Skeens on the red. That is 39 out of 149. Tricolor James Tibbs. That is going to Boston. We got a neon green of Aiden Miller for the Phillies. Behind that is an orange auto. Orange auto of Colt Emerson for Seattle. Colt Emerson on the orange auto, 65 of 75. Aiden Miller for the Phillies, that was 41 of 49 on the neon green. That is Colt Emerson on the silver prism. And our patch goes to Franklin Arias. That is Boston Red Sox on the red Sparks patch. 18 out of 99. 18 of 99. Box number 3. I see gold. Yes, we do like gold. Gold. I like gold. Box number 3. We got a tricolor of Jarlin Susana for Washington. Silver Prism, Miguel Tejada, Oakland. We got an orange of Ian Kinsler for Texas. 13 out of 49. Tricolor, Bryce Rainier for Detroit. Brown, Kyle Teal for the White Sox. Our next auto, that is Song-Chi Chang. Song-Chi Chang for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That is 7 out of 125. Are you over there? Yeah. Okay, got it. Just want to make sure. Yep, got you. That is a silver prism of Jarlin Susana for Washington. And look at that. Look at that. For the Colorado Rockies, Charlie Condon on the 3-color patch. This is a spark patch to 49. That's 24 out of 49. Nice hit for the Rockies. Look at that. Red, Dylan Cruz for Washington. That is 6 out of 149. Silver Prism, Aaron Judge. That is a tricolor of Seaver King. And our next auto is, for the non-MLB spot, that is Drew Burris. Drew Burris for the non-MLB spot. Georgia Tech. There you go, non-MLB. Got gold right there. Put that in the back. We got Slade Caldwell for the Diamondbacks. 39 out of 99. That is Kyle DeBarge. That's for Minnesota. For Minnesota. That is 55 of 199. And our gold is going to the Diamondbacks. That is Slade Caldwell. Slade Caldwell for the D-backs. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for the Diamondbacks. Nice hit. Box number 4. All right, box number 4. Here we go. That is Sung Joon Kim for Texas. On the white, that is 73 of 99. First auto of this box, that is Austin Wells. Austin Wells for the Yankees. My goodness, I need to clean my glasses. Austin Wells not numbered. There's Cliff Lee for the Phillies. Miguel Cabrera, Detroit. That is number 34 of 199. Purple, Vlad Guerrero. That's going to the Angels. That is 67 out of 75. Spencer Jones for the Yankees tricolor. That is Slade Caldwell. We got an auto, now we got a patch of Slade Caldwell for Arizona. That is 66 of 99. Slade Caldwell Silver Prism for the Diamondbacks. Oh, it wasn't an auto, it was a gold of Slade Caldwell. All right. Absolutely, we need to get to 5 or a 1 of 1. Absolutely. Brady Montgomery at 125. That's 10 out of 125 for the White Sox. Chase Dollander on the Silver Prism for Colorado. That's Yadi Molina on the blue numbers Blue numbers, that is 6 out of 49. 6 out of 49, that's going to St. Louis. Silver Prism of Miguel Cabrera. Christian Moore for the Angels on the red. That is 97 of 149. Our next auto is for the Oakland A's, Max Muncy. Max Muncy for Oakland, not numbered auto. Brown, Blake Mitchell for Kansas City, 34 of 125. Tricolor, Austin Wells for the Yankees. Box number 5. Box number 5. Silver Prism, Chase Meadroth for the White Sox. Tricolor, Roger Clemens. That is a blue diamond action auto going to the Washington Nationals. That is Dylan Cruz on the auto. That is number 36 out of 49. 36 of 49 on that auto for the Washington Nationals. We got red, Josor Gonzalez for the Giants, 35 of 149. Cliff Lee for the Phillies, that's 167 out of 199. Craig Yoho, we got a redemption. We got a redemption. Craig Yoho on the Brown. Our redemption. Diamond action signature, not numbered. Card 29. There he is, James Triantos. That's going to the Cubbies. Cubs on the auto redemption. The Brown. Yoho is 90 out of 125. Yoho. It's off to work we go. Alright, we got a white of Red Lauder. That is for the Reds. 74 out of 99. That is neon green of Kyle Teal. That is 34 of 49 for the White Sox. Tricolor of Haesung Kim for the Dodgers. We got Bo Jackson on the Silver Prism. Is this an auto? No, it's a numbers tie-dye of Jackson Churio. Nice hit for the Milwaukee Brew Crew. Jackson Churio, 15 out of 25 on the tie-dye. Purple Albert Pujols going to the Cardinals, 3 out of 75. Jesus Made on the tricolor for Milwaukee. Bobby Witt Jr. on the silver prism. And that is Nick Kurtz, our Rookie of the Year for the Oakland A's on the patch. Select swatch. That one's not numbered. Box number 6. Alright, box number 6. Here we go. Silver Prism, Chase Dollander for Colorado. Silver, Bobby Witt Jr. That is a tricolor of Roberto Clemente. And this one, it is. It's a legendary signature tie-dye of Deion Sanders going to the Cincinnati Reds. Deion Sanders to the Cincinnati Reds tie-dye auto. It's a Christmas card. 12 out of 25. 12 of 25. Nice hit for Cincy. Kyle Teal, that is 72 out of 199 for the White Sox. That is a tie-dye Bryce Rainier for Detroit. Tie-dye Bryce Rainier. That is 21 of 25. This is a low number case so far. That is Jordan Lawler for the Diamondbacks. Jordan Lawler, 75 of 99. What's up, Alvis? Yeah, that is sick. That Deion Sanders is sick. Brown, that is Andrew Walters for Cleveland. 125 out of 125 on the bookend. Miguel Tejada for the A's. That is Jace Lavalette for the non-MLB on the red. That is 113 out of 149, and our auto is Nolan Shanuel for the Angels. Nolan Shanuel for the Angels on the auto. That is Eddie Collins for the White Sox. Eddie Collins. That is that 18? That is 18 out of 49. Blake Mitchell, Silver Prism. That's for Kansas City. Our next patch is P.J. Morlando on the Sparks patch, not numbered. Tricolor Austin Wells for the Yankees. And that is box number 6. All right, box number 7. You're looking for the Cardinals? Well, I just pulled a really nice Albert Pujols. And there's a few other Cardinals in there, but no autos or patches yet. All right, box number 7. Box number 7. Tricolor, Noah Schultz for the White Sox. Silver Prism, Albert Pujols for the Cardinals. Tricolor of Bobby Witt Jr. Got a rookie auto coming. Rookie auto of Cam Smith. That is for Houston. This one is not numbered. I see a tie-dye. Brock Wilken on the blue. That is 90 out of 199 for Milwaukee. Tie-dye of Connor Griffin for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, Pittsburgh Pirates. Connor Griffin, Pittsburgh Pirates. Tie-dye, 6 out of 25. 6 out of 25 on the faux pas. That is Pablo Sandoval, 72 out of 125 on Kung Fu Panda. And the next auto for the Diamondbacks, that is Jordan Lawler. Jordan Lawler on the auto for the Diamondbacks. All right, second half. We got red of Hideki Matsui going to the Yankees. 147 out of 149. That is Roy Campanella for the Dodgers on the Silver Prism. Congrats to the Steelers. That's right. That is 91 of 99. Dylan Cruz on the red. Numbers. Purple of Nomar Garciaparra. That is 67 out of 75 for the Red Sox. Neon green, that is Starlin Caba. Starlin Caba on the neon green. That is for the Miami Marlins. That is 41 out of 49. That is Andrew Painter for the Phillies. on the tricolor. And our next patch behind is going to be behind Seaver King for Washington Silver. That is Jackson Chourio. Jackson Chourio red patch for the Milwaukee Brewers. That is to 99, 26 out of 99. Box number 8. Box number 8. Diamondbacks are definitely having a break. Yes, they are. All right, box number 8. Tricolor, Bryce Rainier. We got another signature. It's not a rookie. That is for Detroit. This is another tie-dye. And that one is Charlie Condon for the Colorado Rockies. Charlie Condon, tie-dye auto, 22 out of 25. Sick hits. Sick hits today. You've got Pudge Rodriguez, 115 out of 199. There's a green, and it's going to the Texas Rangers, Kumar Rocker. That is number 2 out of 5. Now we need a 101. Now we need a gold vinyl. Let's go. Come on, this case has been fired. Let's keep it up. Gold vinyl time. Let's do it. White, that's Stephen Voigt for Cleveland. 26 out of 99. Cade Horton for the Cubbies on the tricolor. Silver Prism, Yadi Molina. Rintaro Sasaki on the red phenomenon for the non-MLB spot. Nice hit for the non-MLB. That is Rintaro Sasaki, 93 out of 99. I know, dude. Cereal. We still got 4 boxes in this one. That is Noble Mayer for Miami on the Silver Prism. That's a silver Reggie Jackson die cut going to the Baltimore Orioles. That is a sick card right there on the die cut of Reggie Jackson. Tricolor, Gary Sheffield. That's a brown of Travis Bazzana for Cleveland. Our next auto is a rookie auto. Silver Prism of J.C. Escara for the Yankees. J.C. Escara for the Yankees. Silver Prism auto. Rookie. Red. Larry Walker going to Washington. 5 out of 149. Braylon Payne, Silver Prism. And our patch is Braxton Ashcraft. Braxton Ashcraft, that is for the Pittsburgh Pirates on the red Spark patch. Red Sparks, 27 out of 99. 4 boxes to go. Let's get a color wheel. Let's get a zebra. And let's get a gold vinyl 1 of 1. Let's freaking go. Let's get it all today. Let's get it all. Move these over. Move Dion back. There we go. Just another select break. Isn't that true? Blah, isn't that true? Love this product. Cannot wait till later tonight. We're ripping a case of WWE Universe. I am so excited for that. Have not ripped WWE in a while. There are wrestlers still available if you want to get in the break in the store. It is a pick your wrestler break. I see gold. I did. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, box number, this is what, 9? Holy cow. Box number 9, let's keep it going. We got Enrique Bradfield Jr., Brown. That's for Baltimore, 39 out of 125. We got purple. Purple of Bobby Witt Jr. Auto behind Bobby Witt Jr. is, oh my gosh. Sorry guys. Sorry for Oakland, that's Max Muncy. Not numbered on the auto for Max Muncy. The guy's got like 8,000 autos in this. 71 out of 75 on the Bobby Witt Jr. My apologies, Oakland. Tricolor, there is Carson Bench for the Mets. That is Heston Kjerstad for the Orioles. Blue, that is 151 out of 199. Cal Ripken for Baltimore, Silver Prism. That is Travis Bazanis, Silver Prism for Cleveland. And this patch is Chase Burns. Chase Burns for Cincinnati. On the red select signature. That is number 43 out of 99. 43 of 99. Alright, we got some gold right there. We're going to put that at the back. That's Darren Baker. Darren Baker, 155 out of 199 for Washington. Bobby Witt Jr. on the red, 100 out of 149. Tricolor, there's Bobby Witt Jr. again. We got an auto behind that. We're not going to drop this one, sorry guys, again. That is Bryce Eldridge going to the Giants. Bryce Eldridge on the auto going to the Giants. That is Tomoyuki Sugano for Baltimore. Silver Prism, Cash Mayfield on the tricolor. And our gold, diamond level gold, that is for the Angels. Nolan Chanuel for the Angels on the gold diamond level. 10 out of 10. Sick hit. Sick hit for the Angels. Box number 10. We haven't had a patch auto in this case yet either. I think we're due for a patch auto. I mean, I didn't see one, but I'm just saying. I'm super saying. Oh, there's a tie-dye patch auto right there. Tie-dye patch auto. Dude, did I call it or what? Holy shnikes. Here we go. Tie-dye patch auto incoming. Let's do this one first. There we go. We got a tricolor of Kellen Lindsay. Silver Prism, that is Seaver King for Washington. That is Roger Clemens on the blue numbers. Blue numbers, that is number 30 out of 49 for the Rocket. That is Charlie Condon, Silver Prism, Diamond level. Pee Wee Reese for the Dodgers. Tie-dye, Diamond level. How about Nolan Chanuel? We're going to go gold. Why not go with a tie-dye to boot? 10 out of 25. 10 out of 25. What's up, pitcher? And we got a red auto for the Yankees of J.C. Escara. That is 9 out of 99. 9 out of 99. That is Slade Caldwell on the Silver Prism. And our patch is Kumar Rocker, rocking it down in the Texas Rangers organization. There we go. Not numbered. We're going to go half. Half the stack. We got Ethan Holiday, white, for the non-MLB spot. 81 of 99. Slade Caldwell, Silver Prism. This is Ken Griffey Jr. red. This is going to Seattle, 70 of 149. We got Will Wagner for the Blue Jays, 79 out of 199. Right on top of the stack, Cash Mayfield on the neon green for San Diego. Cash Mayfield. That is 17 out of 49. And our tie-dye patch auto goes to, that's Chase Meadroth for the White Sox. It is a rookie. No fucking way. Holy cow. 2-color yellow and white patch of Nick Kurtz on the RPA 15 out of 25. Dude, I had a feeling this was going to be a good one. I had a feeling. Wow. That is freaking humongous. Congrats to the Oakland A's spot. And we are down to 2 boxes. That is unfreaking real. Sometimes I amaze myself, guys, on some of these pulls. Not that I had anything to do with it. I just amaze myself that I can't believe I just pulled that. All right, box number 11. There's Christy Mathewson for the Giants, 23 out of 199. Silver Prism, Cash Mayfield, San Diego. That is a tricolor of Roman Anthony for the Red Sox, and a red auto going to, Jesus Christ, Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens on the auto, red, for the Pittsburgh Pirates, 57 out of 99. 57 of 99, Paul Skeens. Jesus. We got orange. That's Bryce Rainier for Detroit. That is 6 out of 49. Another tie-dye, and another Nolan Shanuel. Nolan Shanuel for the Angels tie-dye. 2 out of 25 and 10 out of 25. Dude, freaking unreal. Will Wagner for Toronto, blue. That is 38 out of 199. Dude, this is, yeah, this break has been absolutely good word, filthy. And we have a blue patch coming. We have a blue patch coming. Here we go. Tricolor, that's Matt Shaw for the Cubs. Silver of Brady House, that's for Washington. Paul Skeens on the Select Certified Red. That is 10 out of 99. Number 10 out of 99. Brown, Johnny Mize, that's for the Giants. 38 out of 125. Ricky Henderson on the tricolor. That is a red Chase Burns. Chase Burns for Cincinnati, and the auto behind it goes to Washington. That's Darren Baker. Darren Baker on the auto, not numbered. Chase Burns, 115 out of 149 for Cincy. And our blue patch behind Brody Breck for Colorado is a 3-color Walker Janik patch for the Houston Astros. Walker Janik, 41 out of 49 for Houston. Dude, this is a monster case. This has been a monster case. And we're down to our last box. Box number 12. After this box, we'll get a full recap in. Let's see if we can get a zebra, a color wheel, or a 1 of 1 in this last box. Let's hope for one of them, at least. Here we go. There's Colt Emerson for Seattle on the brown. Colt Emerson, that is 35 out of 125. Purple, Bryce Rainier for Detroit. That is 54 out of 75. 54 out of 75. Blue, Drew Burris going to the non-MLB spot. Drew Burris, 150 out of 199. Our first auto is going to be legendary. We're going to leave that there. That is Jacob Wilson, Silver Prism. Oakland A's. Red, Braxton Ashcraft for Pittsburgh. That is the Pirates, not the Steelers. That is 24 of 149. That's a redemption. Our second auto is a redemption. That is Brady Montgomery for the White Sox on the tricolor. We got another tie-dye. And that is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge for the Yankees on the tie-dye. 2 out of 25 for the captain. USA captain, New York Yankees captain. Dude, that is sick. All right. Silver Prism, Dylan Cruz, Washington. That is Dylan Cruz on the numbers for Washington. 9 out of 99. Tricolor. There's Josue De Paula for the Dodgers. And our last pack has our patch. We're going to end with a color patch. Yeah, why not? End with a blue color patch to 49. That is Tommy Troy for the Diamondbacks, Silver Prism. And that is for the Phillies, 2-color with stitches, Andrew Painter. Andrew Painter on the patch. 2-color patch with the stitches right there. Love the stitches. That is 48 out of 49. 48 of 49. And our last 2 hits of the break. We have 2 autos. We're going to go ahead and do our legendary signature first. Dylan Cruz tricolor on the front of it. And that is a legendary auto going to the Minnesota Twins, Johan Santana. We're not talking about Santana, the music star. And our last auto of the break is a redemption. It is behind this Aaron Judge. This Aaron Judge white is 60 out of 99. Here we go, my friends. Good luck on the redemption. I do know Roman Anthony is a redemption in this product. I would love to see that. For a friend who's got the Red Sox. Diamond Action Signatures. Card number 29. That is James Triantos, who has Twins for the Cubbies. I almost read Cubbies. There we go for the Cubs to finish it off. Not numbered. All right. All right, let me get this all together. And then we'll get our recap in. All right, guys. Pull these forward a little bit. And here we go. Recap time to 199. For the non-MLB spot, we got Drew Burris, Christy Mathewson, Will Wagner, Darren Baker, Heston Kjerstad, Pudge Rodriguez, Brock Wilken, Kyle Teal, Cliff Lee, Miguel Cabrera, Kyle DeBarge, Luis Angel Acuna, Kevin McGonigal, and James Triantos. To 149. Red. We have Braxton Ashcraft, Chase Burns, Ken Griffey Jr., Bobby Witt Jr., Larry Walker, Hideki Matsui, Jace Lavalette going to the non-MLB, Joser Gonzalez, Christian Moore, Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens, Kalen Culpepper, and Roberto Clemente. Browns to 125. We got Colt Emerson, Johnny Mize for the Giants, Enrique Bradfield, Travis Bazzana, Pablo Sandoval. That is Andrew Walters, Craig Yoho, Blake Mitchell, Braden Montgomery, and Kyle Teal. 1099. We got Aaron Judge, Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens, Ethan Holiday to the non-MLB spot, Stephen Voigt, Rentaro Sasaki, non-MLB, Dylan Cruz, Jordan Lawler, Rhett Lauder, Song Joon Kim, Slade Caldwell, and Song Joon Kim again. To 75, we have Bryce Rainier, Bobby Witt Jr., Nomar Garciaparra, Albert Pujols, and Vlad Guerrero Sr. to the Angels. To 49, Bryce Rainier, Cash Mayfield, Roger Clemens, Starlin Caba. That is Eddie Collins for the White Sox, Kyle Teal, Yadi Molina, Ian Kinsler, Aiden Miller, Gustin Ramirez, Ko Ching Shane for the Dodgers, Hai Suk Jang for the Dodgers, Blake Burke. Our tie-dyes. Look at that, guys. And there's 2 missing out of that, so they're up there. There's at least 2, maybe 3 missing. All right, tie-dye for the Yankees, Aaron Judge. For the Angels, we have twins of Nolan Shanuel. That is Connor Griffin for the Pirates, Bryce Rainier for Detroit, Jackson Chourio for Milwaukee, and Ethan Holiday going to the non-MLB spot. We had 2 goals. We have Nolan Shanuel for the Angels, and that is Slade Caldwell for the Diamondbacks. Our green goes to Texas. That is Kumar Rocker. We had a die-cut silver prism of Reggie Jackson going to the Baltimore Orioles. Our patches. We got not numbered Kumar Rocker, PJ Morlando, Nick Kurtz, Reds to 99, Chase Burns, Braxton Ashcraft, Jackson Chourio, Slade Caldwell, and Franklin Arias. Our blues to 49, Walker Janik, Andrew Painter, and Charlie Condon. Our tie-dye went to Baltimore. That's Vance Honeycutt. Our autos, not numbered. That is Darren Baker, Bryce Eldridge, Max Muncy, Jordan Lawler. We got 2 of James Triantos, Nolan Shanuel, Max Muncy again, Austin Wells, Sung Chi Chang, and that is Kevin McGonigal. To 75, that's Colt Emerson. To 49, Dylan Cruz. Our legendary signatures, not numbered, is Johan Santana for Minnesota. That is rookie J.C. Escara for the Yankees. Rookie Cam Smith for Houston. Drew Burris for the non-MLB spot. Legendary signature Robin Ventura for the White Sox, and Cecil Fielder, legendary signature for the Yankees. J.C. Escara went red with this 1/99 for the Yankees, and that is Charlie Condon on the tie-dye auto for the Colorado Rockies. We had Paul Skeens on the auto. That is to 99 red, 57 of 99. Deion Sanders on the tie-dye auto. Legendary signature, Christmas card, 12 out of 25. But our hit of the break went to the Oakland A's. That is a sick, sick card right there. Nick Kurtz on the patch auto. Yellow and white stripes. Love the fact that it's Nick Kurtz, and it is a 15 out of 25 tie-dye. There's your break, my friends. Appreciate you all for being here. Hope you had a good time. Hope to see you all next time. Have a great afternoon. Talk to you soon. Peace!